The Galactic Council had long suspected that humans were different. Their homeworld, Earth, classified as a Class 12 death world, should have produced timid, careful beings. Instead, it had spawned creatures that laughed in the face of danger and sought it out for recreation. The Council needed answers, and they needed them before humans spread further into the galactic community. Commander Trell observed the 5 human test subjects through the one-way glass. They had been told they were participating in a cultural exchange program. The lie was necessary. The test required genuine reactions. "Begin Protocol Sigma," Trell ordered. The chamber housing the humans began to fill with a colorless gas. The humans, Thomas, Amara, Jack, Lynn, and Diego, were engaged in casual conversation when the first symptoms appeared. Thomas rubbed his eyes. Amara coughed. Jack frowned, sniffing. "The air. Something's not right," Lynn said, looking around the chamber with narrowed eyes. Diego was already at the door, testing it. "Locked," he announced, his voice steady despite the circumstances. Trell watched with growing fascination. Most species would be panicking by now, but these humans were organizing. Thomas had removed his shirt and was wetting it in the water dispenser, creating makeshift masks for everyone. "The toxin is mild," Trell's assistant Vex explained. "It causes discomfort and mild hallucinations but is not lethal." Trell nodded. "Increased temperature by 15 degrees. Inside the chamber, sweat began to bead on the humans' foreheads. The room had gone from comfortable to sweltering in minutes. Still, they remained calm, conserving their energy and distributing the remaining water. "Most fascinating," Trell murmured. "Proceed to stage 2. A low-frequency sound began to pulse through the chamber, a sound proven to induce anxiety and fear in most sapient species. The humans winced but showed remarkable adaptation. Diego and Lynn had begun a systematic examination of the room, looking for weaknesses or ventilation shafts. Amara had closed her eyes, her breathing deliberately slow and measured. "It's trying to scare us," she said. "Focus on something else." Jack had dismantled the water dispenser and was examining its components. "I might be able to create a short circuit with this," he said. "Could disable the door lock." Thomas stood watch at the door, ready to move if Jack's improvised tool worked. "They're problem-solving under duress," Vex noted, unable to keep the awe from his voice. "Most species become non-functional at this stage." Trell flicked a tendril toward the control panel. "Introduce the predator simulation." Holographic projectors activated, filling the chamber with the image of an enormous carnivore, a hybrid creature designed from the most feared predators across 12 worlds. Its roar shook the chamber. The humans reacted instantly, but not with the blind panic Trell expected. They formed a defensive circle, backs together. Thomas had fashioned a weapon from a chair leg. "It's not real," Amara said, her voice steady, despite her racing pulse. "Look at how the light passes through it." "Real or not, stay alert," Diego cautioned. "This is a test." Jack had completed his makeshift tool. "Almost there with the door," he announced. Trell clicked in disapproval. "They're adapting too quickly. Initiate the final phase." The chamber floor began to tremble. Panels slid away, revealing a maze-like structure below. The platform the humans stood on began to descend. "They're separating us," Lynn observed as gaps formed in the floor. "Stay together." But it was too late. The floor split into 5 sections, each carrying a human in a different direction. Trell expected despair, or at least resignation. Instead, Thomas shouted across the widening gap. "Meet at the center. Look for landmarks. They want us isolated. Don't give them what they want." Each human disappeared into a different tunnel, but Trell could track them on monitors. None showed signs of giving up. Each methodically mapped their route, leaving markers at junctions clearly intending to reunite. "This is unprecedented," Vex whispered. "They're not just surviving, they're countering our strategy." Diego was first to reach a central chamber, followed by Lynn. They embraced briefly before taking defensive positions, waiting for the others. Within minutes, all 5 had found their way to the rendezvous point, using nothing but logic and determination. "They've completed the maze 4 times faster than any previous species," Vex reported, mandibles clicking in agitation. Trell watched as the humans celebrated their reunion. Their clothing was torn, their bodies bruised, but their spirits seemed unbroken. In fact, they appeared energized by the challenge. "Terminate the test," Trell ordered. The chamber walls retracted, revealing Trell and the observation team. The humans tensed, ready for another threat. Trell approached the force field, separating them. "Humans of Earth," the translator conveyed, "you have been subjected to the Galactic Council's sentient response test." Thomas stepped forward. "You mean this wasn't a cultural exchange?" "It was a test of your species' capabilities," Trell explained. "One you have passed in a manner we have never witnessed before." "Why test us at all?" Amara asked, anger evident in her stance. "Because you come from a world that should have broken you, yet instead forged you into something remarkable," Trell replied. "You have demonstrated problem-solving, cooperation, and resilience beyond our projections." Diego crossed his arms. "And what does that mean for Earth's relationship with your council?" Trell's skin shifted to a blue hue, a sign of respect in his species. "It means, Deathworlders, that we have gravely underestimated humanity. The council must reevaluate its position." Jack laughed, a sound that made several aliens flinch. "Next. Time, just ask." "We're pretty good at talking too." Trell inclined his head. "Indeed. Perhaps that is the greatest lesson we have learned today." As the humans were escorted to proper accommodations, Trell turned to Vex. "Update the classification of Earth immediately, and prepare a report for the Council." "What shall I tell them?" Vex asked. Trell gazed after the humans. "Tell them we've discovered a species that turns death into strength, and may the stars help anyone who makes themselves their enemy."